Hey everybody, it's Dr. Sasheen here. It is Wednesday, and for those of you who follow me, or maybe this is your first time seeing me, I'm Dr. Sasheen, also known as the Metaphysical Goddess, and I am a mindset, energy, and divorce coach, helping women get over the fear of divorce and get through the process with a much more fabulous plan for not only the process, but life after the process. And that is what I want to talk to you about today. What is your life after the process of the big change? So what is it that you're looking forward to after you come through the rain? And I think it's really important that we, at the very beginning of any big transition, so divorce is a major life transition for most people. At the beginning of any big transition, all we think about is, oh my God, I'm ready to get through this. I need to get through this. Sorry, my scarf is making turns on its own. I need to get through this, right? But we don't always say, we know kind of what we want to have happen at the end, but we don't always say what the big picture is. We don't always know what the big goal is on the other side of the transition. We say, I want to be happy, but what does that actually mean? What does it really mean to say, I want to be happy? Or I want to just not be unhappy. Well, I mean, that's not something that you can really put your finger on. And because our goals are amorphous and kind of ephemeral, we can't really put our fingers on them. When we are in the trenches of working through the transition and we get bogged down in our repeated tapes, and we get bogged down in our repeated self-criticisms, and we want to stop, if we don't have something big to hold on to, we will stop. And by big to hold on to, I'm not just talking, I know that when after the divorce, or after I quit my job, or after I start my business, things are going to be great. What's going to be great? What do you want? What exactly do you want the universe to give you when you come through the rain? Because it's pouring on a lot of people. It is literally raining buckets on a lot of people. Hang on, I turned off the car because it was let me crack the windows. It's literally raining buckets on a lot of people, right? In our minds, it's raining buckets all the time because we are in the midst of, at the beginning of, going through the thing, like trying to get through the thing. And when I talk to people, I'm like, well, what are you holding on to? What are you holding on to? What are you getting up and slaying the dragon for every single day? What are you staying in this moment for every single day? What are you working towards? Why did you put yourself in this position for it to hurt, for you to be tired, for it to be frustrating, for you to be losing sleep, maybe losing money, for you not to know what's happening next, for you to put one step in front of the other? What are you slaying the dragons for? Most people don't have a solid answer. It's, well, I want to be happier. Okay, but the reason it's so hard is because happier could mean anything. Anything at all. What does it mean exactly when you say you want to be happier? Do you want to sleep late? Would that make you happier? Then go to sleep. Do you want to eat better? Will that make you happier? Then put down the chocolate and pick up the apple. What is it that you mean when you are in your deepest, darkest moments and you don't know why you're doing something? If you don't have a big why, then you can't continue. And today is really important for me. I spent the morning in court. I spend a lot of mornings in court. And when I think about the process that women go through of changing their life into something else, when I think about that process, what I always think about is how hard it is for them to slay for themselves. They will slay the dragon for their kids. They will slay the dragon for their significant others. They will slay the dragon for their parents, for their communities. But it is so difficult for women to slay the dragon for themselves. And when I ask them, what are you slaying the dragon for? What's in it for you? It's a hesitation, like a gut check that says, happiness? Because if everyone else is happy, I'll be happy. No, that's not true. That's not true. Because I guarantee you that some of the folks that you're slaying dragons for are completely happy right now, and you're still unhappy. You're still unhappy. Some of the folks that you are putting on the front burner while you sit on the back burner are completely happy right now, and you're still unhappy. So when you tell me that you're slaying the dragons because it's going to make people, to try to do this and this and this to make people happy, they're already happy. I'm talking about you. Why are you slaying the dragons? What are you getting out of it? And then comes that guilt that says, I don't have the right to slay big dragons for myself. Because if I do that for myself, that means I might have to give up, or, ooh, here it comes, I might actually have to hurt someone else to slay big dragons for myself. But in the exchange of not slaying the big dragons for me, I'm willing to hurt me to make someone else happy. Now, this is not something that a lot of people think about consciously, because we are taught that it is better to give than to receive. We are taught that it is better to make sure that others are good before we think about ourselves. When you're on an airplane, the first thing they say is, when that mask comes down, put the mask on you first. Well, most of us are taught, put the mask on someone else first and then get it onto yourself. The airline has it right. Culture has it wrong. Culture teaches us, oh, put yourself on the back burner. Eventually, if you hang in there long enough, if you continue to put up with it, if you just, endure, then you will eventually get to happiness. But we don't. And if you think I'm wrong, just look at the industries that support our unhappiness. Self-help industry is a billion-dollar industry, supporting our search for true meaning and our search for happiness. The medical field is replete with millionaires who are very invested, and a lot of us staying supremely unhappy for long periods of time. And again, I am not talking about people who are clinically depressed and have a clinical diagnosis of depression. I am talking about the blues that we all are told to just live with, because after all, everybody's got the blues, so why should you be anything special? Well, I'm here to tell you that you are something special. You should be looking at how you can slay the dragons to get what's best for you, because if you take care of you, if you make the decisions around you, then you can bring everybody else along with you, because you can do that when you're healthy and happy. When you're broken and depressed and dejected and despondent, you can't bring anybody else with you. You can't bring anybody else with you. And put on top of that a layer of you literally busting your ass day and night to keep it all together, with no one understanding that you are dying inside. You're not bringing anybody else along with you in your happiness, but you are creating a lovely legacy of despair for the rest of your family. You're creating a lovely legacy. 7 generations. I like to think, what am I going to do that 7 generations from now, my ancestors are going to look back and go, holy cow, why did she do that? If you decide that to break the links of a chain so that the generations behind that are coming behind you don't have to live it, then you've done something fantastic. But you can't break the links of any chain if you won't put yourself first. If you will not put yourself first. If you will not engage with the energy of the world and say, I don't deserve a shitty relationship, so I'm going to put myself first. I don't deserve, case in point, my 5-year-old is having a moment. He's having a moment. And yesterday, he got put in his room. And he was not happy at all. And he says to me, Mommy, I'm not happy. I don't like it when you put me in my room. And I said, I understand that, but I will not be disrespected in my own home. Because he has a little bit of a mouth. Comes by it honestly, I get that. But I'm also teaching him that with words come power. And your power lies in how you choose to use your words. So if you choose to be disrespectful, you have to accept the consequences of how you've chosen to use your words. But I'm also teaching him the autonomy of making the best decision for himself. Now at 5, he's still figuring it out. I'm going to give him some slack. He's got about 10 more years to figure this out before I start putting the hammer down. But what I can slowly show him is that Mom has a certain way that she will let me talk to her. And if I don't talk to her that way, then I have to live with those consequences. Because Mom won't be disrespected. Because you know why? Mom puts herself first. And she says, I am worth your love and respect as your mother. It's a lesson I'm never going to let him forget. If you don't say to the people in your life, I am first, and I deserve the love and respect from others that I give to myself. If you aren't ready to say that, you have got a problem. Because no one in your life will love and respect you the way that you love and respect you. And if you don't love and respect you, no one in your life loves and respects you. They just don't. Period. Because if you don't love and respect you, you are putting up with shit that you would never put up if it was happening to another person, but you've chosen not to slay your own dragons so that you can keep the peace or make it work or make no waves and hope for the best. Well, I'll tell you that hoping for the best is what also fuels the billion-dollar wedding, marriage, and divorce industry. Because hoping, wishing, and waiting is great as a jingle, but it is a terrible, terrible prescription for life. So if you're not really thinking about your own dragons today, I would encourage you to start looking at the things that would make you actually happier. I would encourage you to start thinking about your life in a way that says, I'm actually the most important thing. I am the most important thing. Be selfish in the moment. Allow your body to embrace selfishness, because selfishness is not a bad word. Selfishness keeps people afloat. Selfishness keeps communities together. Selfishness keeps our bodies together. Self requires ourselves to love it so fiercely and so hard and so wonderfully that we would never in a million years do anything to allow anyone else to hurt it or those we care about. Because when our self is strong and our self-love is stronger, then we are a shield not only for others but for ourselves. And that's all any of us really are trying to be, is a shield for the people that we love and that we care for, including ourselves. All right, that is my rant today on a beautiful Wednesday here in New York. Thank you, Lindsay, for watching. I appreciate it. For those of you, again, who don't know who I am, this is Dr. Sasheen, the Metaphysical Goddess, and I will see you again tomorrow. Bye for now.